More than 800,000 illegals crossing the southern border since October. But if the Biden administration ends Title 42, DHS says we could see 18,000 migrants, illegals per day. Our next guest says Biden is creating the worst illegal immigrant crisis ever in a FoxNews.com opinion piece. Here with more is co-host of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show, our friend Buck Sexton. Buck, thanks for being here. At one moment you think, how can it get worse? But you're previewing that very, very soon and intentionally it could get a lot worse.
Oh, Pete, that's absolutely the case. I was speaking to contacts at Border Patrol this week, and they're in essentially a state of what do they expect us to do? I mean, what do they think is going to happen when you have about a 5,000 person capacity per day for apprehensions? They'll call them encounters sometimes. At the southern border, those are illegal migrants coming in. The number's already about 8,000 on average across the border, and expectations based on existing migrant flows and what they're hearing on the other side of the border is that as soon as Title 42 goes, you're looking at upwards of 18,000 migrants a day crossing the border. Some are even saying that within the first 6 to 8 weeks after Title 42 goes, you could have 1 million illegal immigrants in about a 2-month period, let's call it, crossing the border. These are unprecedented numbers. Last year was probably the highest level of illegal immigrant crossings we've ever seen. It depends on how you calculate it. It was upwards of 2 million, plus hundreds of thousands of gotaways. The gotaway number, Pete, is also an estimate because there are sometimes they know they didn't even have the personnel to calculate properly that number. And the Biden administration response to this is essentially let it ride. They're going to move more people to the border to process the illegals more quickly, more expeditiously, so the American people don't actually see what's really going on.
That's it. It feels like the thing that the White House is most concerned about are cameras on the border, actually, because they want it to be as invisible and as seamless as possible. The concern is not about stopping it. It's about not allowing it to be seen.
Yeah, this is all about controlling the political optics in an election year, because if they actually wanted to stop the illegal immigration that's going on or even lessen it at some level, which is really more realistic, I suppose, they would change the incentive structure. Essentially, they'd make it less likely that people who break our immigration laws would be able to stay. They do the exact opposite at every turn. We've known that from the beginning of the Biden administration. Until the incentives change, they're just going to have more and more illegal immigrants coming into the country. They know that. The problem for them is the American people aren't with them. So what they don't want is 15 or 20,000 people all at once camped out of the border, as we saw months ago. And I remember Fox was doing great coverage of that at the time. So they want to make sure that the people who come get in quickly. There's not a lot of crowding at the border. And if that means they disperse them more readily in the interior, that's going to be the plan.
To more efficiently distribute them across the country while making sure they have phones so that they can maybe contact them. While it's good to see the root causes have been addressed. I know it's sarcasm, but it's true. That was their plan, root causes, and Kamala Harris was going to get on it, and it seems none of that has occurred. Buck Sexton, thank you so much. As always, great op-ed. Check it out at foxnews.com.
Thanks, Pete. Good to see you.